No, no, he might be able to just tweak that. Yeah, yeah. That's what it is. Even though, because the pain is not. Oh, it's just there, but it's radiating from somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
it's as well be squinting
Yeah.
to protect something.
So
You know,
yeah,
I've lived with a ruptured disc all my life.
yeah.
It's
So
brutal to drill.
yeah, so put heat on it. Put heat, or soak in a tub for a while. Just get the muscles relaxed, and then get moved and hard as you can, because that helps to relax the muscles. Because um,
I have a heat pack that
yeah,
a wet heat pack.
yeah. And another thing to do is those thermal pads that you buy,
Yeah.
wrap around the waist. They're like $10 for 3 or something. Put those on in the morning. Let it go. They last about 16 hours, and keep it warm all day long, and then let it see how you feel that way.
I'll tell my wife to hug me in the morning.
Uh,
Are things
and then you'll say not so tight.
not so tight? Are things stabilizing for you a little bit? Or?
Here, it's stable, but it's off, way off.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm sure it's like 50.
22 doesn't beat.
Yeah, we're down to like a dozen. Not even a baker's dozen. All right, we're gonna line up. We're gonna bow in. Is the mic on? Let me see. Here we go. Testing. Whoa, I guess it is on. Now it's on. Whoa. All right, we're going to bow in, go through some warm-ups, and move along. Ready? Hup. 1, 2, 3. Salute. Okay. So, Sonny, this is a little loud. Can you move that? Just turn it down a little. You know which one, right? Hands up. I think it's the red one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. That's good. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one more time. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, hands in waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Okay, cross, knees, circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hands up, pull in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Spread your feet. Turning. And center. Turn, stretch it out. Switch. 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 Switch, straighten the front knee. Switch. 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 Okay, center. Okay, shake it out. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Shoulder rolls first. Okay. And reverse. Okay. Press. Release. Exhale. Inhale. And stop. Deep breathing. Inhale. Okay, circular movements. Okay, switch. Palms down. Bigger circle. And stop. Okay. Shift from side to side. Okay, palms down. Okay, shake it up. Swinging the arms. Get the right leg in. Okay, switch. Side to side. Switch. Okay, Sana, shake it out. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, silk grilling. It's pretty windy out there, huh? Switch. Okay, open and close. Switch. Okay, Sana, parallel stance. Preparation. Okay, lower hoop. Shoulder height. Elbows down. Okay, press down. Fingertips down, extend. Okay, you switch. and center. Okay, cloud hands. Okay, carry tiger to the mountain. Infinity sign. Okay, form the fists. And center. Okay, palms together, strum the lute. Okay, thumbs up right side. Alternate the shoulders. And center. Switch. Forward, turn, draw the bow. Okay, fan to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, we'll go through the sequence. We'll do it nice and slow. Okay, ready? Go each transition. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, so let's do the back side of the form, facing the front. If you have a mirror, that would be helpful for yourself. So let's face here. We're going to do carry tiger to the mountain. See how those transitions are. Back, turn, lift, sit back, cross the hands, left to the outside, raise the left hand, bend from the waist, stork flaps wings, turn. Left side grasp the sparrow's tail. Left side single whip. Hold the ball. Reverse the ball. Diagonal flying. Sit back. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Sit back. Step up. Neutral vertical. Stroke down. Part the horse's mane. Cross corner. Jade Lady work shadow. Cross corner. Jade Lady work shadow. And then you would hook your wrists. And let's turn to the front so we can do the cloud hands together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get back to the corner. Hook your wrists. Close the form. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, deep breathing. So, anybody have any questions on the Tai Chi Paradigm form? Anyone? Ed, do you have any questions on that? Peter? Yep.
Just when we're starting out,
Yeah.
step up. Now, am I facing not quite 45, but a little bit to this corner?
The very first movement should be facing directly forward. Straight. Yeah, yeah. See, the direction of your, I call it the mapping of the form. It works off like a compass, northeast, southwest, and then you have the corner movements, which is like a northwest, northeast, or southeast or southwest. So when you start off, if you just look at your feet are parallel here. We have the 45-degree corners, right? So when we first start off, we have our left foot forward, but truly square, but your posture is slightly turned. So that gives you the strum the lute position or vertical elbow. Now when we go to horizontal elbow, our shoulders begin to square, and now we go directly to the front. Okay. Now as I sit back, either I do this or I kick my heel out. Now because this foot's already 45 degrees, you can see that when you kick out, you're parallel. And you shift like this, Now your hips are actually 45 degrees. So we have to shift the weight to this foot, and then when we spin, we bring our tailbone over the heel of the supporting foot. So when we turn, okay, now we're in position to drop the elbow. So we drop the elbow is pointing to the knee of the forward foot. And we slide this hand down. Now when you come in like this, your hip squares, and then you go straight out. So there's your 90-degree turn. And because we're on the right side, strum the Luda, we're directly 90 degrees, but our torso is 45 degrees. And then we square. And then we turn slightly to the right, and we stroke down toward the rear right side, and then push forward. Hook your wrist, and when we sit back, the front foot turns 45 again. Both feet are 45. The hips are square to that corner, and then we reach out. We open the hip to get the other 45-degree corner, but we haven't turned the body yet. We transition the weight, and then we begin to turn the torso to the opposite corner. The palm turns out, and then you reset your shoulders. So that's what I call the manipulation of skeletal structure. But the mapping of the feet and the mapping of the body, the integration of the primary movers, I call them, the major joints in your body have to be maneuvered to get those 45, 90-degree angle positions. It takes a lot of control, but the thing is, proprioception, muscle memory is really joint angle position. These joint angle positions only become accurate and precise over time and discovery and the brain and body working as a unit. So, in Tai Chi they have a principle, whole body relaxed, Tun Sen Fong Song. The whole body should be releasing the tension in the joints. So relaxing is releasing tension in the joints. Then they have another concept of 4 principles, right? It should be done slowly, even, right? Round, right? So it's, right? Slow means we have to, right? Man, yuan means circular. Accurate, okay? Accurate means consistency, and ging is another skill. You develop a skill. So you have to work off of those concepts. Slow, even, round, accurate, and then you develop skill over time. So those principles have to be kind of followed as a guideline. So when we're here, we start off and we know that that's front. Sink the elbow, relax the shoulder is another major principle. So though we learn to sink the elbow and press down, we have to coordinate that with the lower body. So when we sink the elbow, we should relax the knees. Now, your knees bend, but bending can be a physical thing. Releasing tension in the joints becomes sort of a passive active motion, because you sink because your body releases. You sink because gravity acts on your body, and you let your body respond to that universal force, which is that energy. Now when you do that, the integration body becomes passive and then active. So what do you have to do? You just have to direct the movement. So another principle in Tai Chi is use your mind to direct, right? Use your mind to direct move without using strength. But most people misinterpret the idea of not using strength, so they totally go flaccid and just let go. That's not what Tai Chi should be. Tai Chi should be releasing the tension, directing the movement, still have structural integrity, and direction. The direction is how your forces are generated, specifically that's down, up, right, left, forward, and back. So then in Tai Chi we have in Grasp the Sparrow's Tail, they highlight 4 energies in the movement, right? Ward off, roll back, press, and push. And they're actually called Pang Li Jai On. Pang is this. Jai is to press. Diverting is Li, right? Pang Li, right? Jai On is to push. So those 4 techniques, which is what they are, is just highlighted in that specific posture, both right and left sides. But that concept, those 4 concepts are throughout your form. So the Pang is rounding. Okay. Diverting is redirecting. Crossing the hands is pressing. So that happens, for instance, here, 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 here. Separating is going into the next 4. Cross hands. These are all parts of those 4 principal concepts first noted in the Grasp the Sparrow's Tail. When we open the form and sink the elbow and press down, that's really pushing down. That's push. So push is here, push is here, push is here, push is here. This is upper Pang, rounding, right? Then when you get to the 4 other additional methods, you have separation. It's called splitting, right? Splitting. And then in rollback, you also, at the end of it, would have plucking or pulling, right? So that's, say, 4, 6. And then the last 2 would be elbows and shoulders. So that would be elbow stroke and shoulder stroke. So shoulder stroke happens because we really can't move our arm without actually involving the shoulder and the elbows and the wrists. They all, link together. So when we move our hands, we're really moving our limb. Your whole arm is considered your hand. Then when we move our legs, your whole leg is considered, it's described as your footwork, but it's really leg work. So when you build integration of body, what you have to integrate is your elbows and your knees, your hips and your shoulders, your hands and your feet. Those are relationships that you're constantly struggling with to try to get those ideas to work together. And then you have to bring in additional principles of how those units work together as they complement each other, they support each other. One can follow the other, one can lead the other. It depends on how you are using your mind intent, right? So the thing is, Grasp the Sparrow's Tail, it happens so many times because it must be an important posture, right? So when we have the ward off, should you put your hands together or should you keep them separate, or how far away should they be? It's really for training and identifying those 4 ideas, the concepts. So you can practice Grasp the Sparrow's Tail touching. So when your hand is here in a vertical position, that's your center line, right? The center line here is square. The center line here is oblique in the torso. When I step up with my right foot, I can put my hand either against my wrists or against my forearm. But if you're training to develop continuity and connection, then you want to put the hand close to the wrists. And then you pivot off of this point to create the horizontal elbow. And then you stay connected till you get to this corner, and then you draw down like this, and then you push across like this, and then you come out like this. So that begins to build a connection between the right and left sides, because one can't move without the other, see. So that's one of the things that happens when you get to a level of using staffs or spear. Your hands are connected. That gives you that connection, and you now can't be separated. Well, this is the same idea when you're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you split and you separate. then you find your position. Okay. So if you want to, work on your grasp the sparrow's tail to get that continuity and define your space, because now when the hands are connected, you can't overreach, you can't go outside your body too far, because your limbs are going to control the parameters of your movement, because our limbs are unique to ourselves. So you use your body as a reference, and so your body becomes like this universe of motions in space. So that's what proprioception is. When you build proprioception and body intelligence, the hands know that they're here. It can't really go beyond the realm of your space because of the size of your movements. But everything begins to connect and starts to move. So you have to practice different ways to achieve different goals. So that's really what is important for integration of body. But we're always referencing eye level, eyebrow level, shoulder width, width of the forehead, width of the shoulder, center line, 45 degrees, waist level, hoops, triangles and crosses, lower hoops, 45-degree corners. You have to control these dimensions by your proprioception and your understanding in the human body positioning. So you learn to use your joints efficiently and naturally the way they're designed to move, so you don't have conflicts. All the conflicts you develop throughout your life is from tension and also not knowing. Your body doesn't know. Your body doesn't know anything until you teach it. So most of us don't learn on this technical basis. We learn from mimicking. We see something and we do it. We see something, and we sometimes, hit it on the mark. And most of the time, we're probably just getting through it. So it could be anything. Anything that you do. It comes to a sport, same thing. You just kind of copy what everybody's doing, and you play to win the game, either scoring a point or whatever. But you really don't have any skill. The people that get good at something, if it's a sport or activity, really focus on the technical side of getting their body to work right, and then you become skillful. But most of us are not very skillful unless you stay with it. So people that study Tai Chi, they glance the surface by learning a sequence. But once you scratch that surface, you have to penetrate and go deeper into it. So those are the layers of onion that you have to peel away until you get to the core. And what's the core? It's understanding these guidelines. So let's go through, there's so many techniques, but that's grasp out. So if you're going to, work on your own with it, you start in a vertical position. Now here's where your hand goes. You have to change from one dimension to the next, and then you find your corner, and you move to the opposite lower corner. Then you turn across and push out, and then sit back if it's just that posture. Now if you do it correctly, you're going to have a forward movement, a backward movement, a right, a left, and oblique motions. And then you're passing through the geometry of position. Triangles, circles, and squares. So if you watch for a second, you'll see here, center line, right. I'm merging from vertical to horizontal, but I pass through oblique. Then I get to this corner on the horizontal line, and then I start to transition across. It looks like an arc, but it's really being created by the fact that I'm turning right and left and forward and back, not to mention the legs. So that's what you have to struggle with. But you don't have to go through the whole form focusing on every single posture. You work on one, you go to the next one and work on that posture and work on the next posture. And all of the information that you discover from doing the single posture will become part of your movements, and they start to cross, exchange in thought, and then your movements will become consistent. So that's where the accuracy of movement comes from. So when they say slow, even, accurate, that's how you develop it. So Okay, let's go through the long form for sequence now. Okay, deep breathing. So we can shift this way a little bit because we kind of edged that way. So a couple of weeks ago we did, or last few classes, we worked on high pat the horse and the setup for the kicks. So, I was watching a few. So it's still missing a little bit of the position. So the first movement starts here, right? So there's your palm strike face. You're going from here, or it's a setup that looks like palm strike face. So you have the left side, the right side. Then you cross your forearms, you lean forward, you flatten the elbows, and then they open. Okay. Then you flip over, and you go to the cross hand position. Then you lift your shoulders, and you do the toe kick. And then this hand comes down, and this hand goes back to center. So you have the vertical hoop on the bottom, the horizontal hoop on the bottom, and the vertical hoop on the center. Now, where I think something's missing is this. So when you're here and you cross, and you open, you have to cross here. Don't come to here and then leave that space open. Because if you don't cross from here, then you don't have the scissoring effect. The cross hand position, a scissoring effect. You know how scissors work? It has a pivot point and they shear across. So when you're doing, say, part the horse's mane or these things, they're shearing. So the movement is like this. So you have to have that horizontal dimension that's there. Regardless of whether you're coming like this or like this, it's still the shearing action that comes through your center. So there's your center line. There's your obliques. So every movement, when I speak of the geometry of position, is in different planes of movement. Can your body track those dimensions and space? That's what's one of the big challenges, because most of us are somewhat spatially inept. You have to kind of go through it to understand what that spatialness is. And then the transitions are really parts of body mechanics. The geometry of position is structure. What structure? That's the framework. So the framework is made up of your skeletal structure, right? So skeletal structure, framework is tied to geometry of position. So the consistency of you using the geometry of position becomes much more accurate, much more defined. So that's something that we have to understand. And then, one of the things that's unique about Tai Chi is when you hold the position and you go from one position to the next. I mentioned earlier there's the four energies, but there's also a concept they call Ging, or that's really sustaining a position that has tonus. Tonus is your body's system that keeps tension in the body so it doesn't fall apart. And it varies, with individuals, because if you have excessive tonus, then you're going to be stiff and rigid. That could happen when you're in stress position. It takes some energy to create that. So when you're in a position like grasp the sparrow's tail and you hold this position, you're creating the sustained position here as you draw across here and then here. Now when you're in the final position, which is your posture, then your body has to recognize this. So when we're doing Tai Chi, it appears to be slow, and it's not because you're moving at a snail's pace. It's because of the transitions and the number of components your body is moving and where you're moving through. So the slowness comes from the elongation of your movements through each component moving in a controlled fashion into different dimensions. So that's what creates the slowness. It's not because you're just slowing everything down and moving your hand like this. It's not that. It's really body transitions. So, but when you open here and then you flip and you fold, your folding and unfolding should be as little strength as possible, but that folding unfolding is directional force. You say, well, where's the direction, where's the force? Well, if I'm here, there's a position. When I'm going down, that's a direction. when I'm panning out like this separation, there's a mechanical advantage in the fact that how you open that. And then when you turn, how is it tied to the body? How is it tied to the body from right to left? How is folding part of this and lifting and sinking, rising, and so forth, right? Now, just take stork flaps wings, right? When we turn and we go to a vertical position, you know, how many ways are there to get to the vertical elbow position, right? This is something that someone asked me the other day. Says, it looks like you're doing this. Well, different transitions, it happens differently. So this is your final position. I can get there from here. I can get there from here. I can get there from here, right? So those are positions that really create this geometry. So they're not all the same. It depends on where you're coming from. So a sequence in the form is getting you to places that vary. That's what forms do. They teach you transitional movements that take you into positions depending on where you're going. So on a functional side of it, just one more 30 seconds. On a functional side, my hand is up here and he punches here. There's my transition. If my hand is down here and he punches, there's my transition. If my hand is over here and he throws a punch, there's my transition. So that's what you have to understand as a reactive motion, because this is the same, but how do you get there? So if you take a picture of that, you won't know actually how it happened. So you either have to get it through, the dialogue or the text, or you see it through a video. So those are the three ways that we can learn, right? So we have to understand. So the mind actually controls the information. All right, ready? Bow. Salute.